Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to give a minute or so for people to get signed in and to jump into the session with us. Appreciate you being here and excited to talk more about Kajora Global Family Network and our months ahead. We're going to give a minute or so for people to learning as we go about the live streaming and getting everybody in here with us. So super excited to share the conversation. I am Jennifer Catrulia. I'm going to kick off the recording in a second, but super excited to have you here. Appreciate you signing in, and we'll get started. So, hi everyone. Great to connect with you tonight here on the overview of Kajora Global Family Network. And for those of you replaying later, thanks again for taking the time. Super excited to share with you what we're building, how special the community is, how we're coming together, and how we are making a difference. So, I am a multi-exit entrepreneur. I've been involved in the family office space for about the last 30 years. I have been part of a number of high growth and exited companies. I was also a partner at a top national advisory and accounting firm for a number of years that ultimately was a top global firm. And super proud to have worked with so many incredible entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and global leaders over the years. And what's happened over the last several years, I am an auntie to an amazing niece and nephew, and so I am extremely motivated to be a participant in the world we're continuing to create and what we're passing on to our next generation and how we're positioning them to lead. So, over the last several months, and in a number of conversations with great family leaders and across the geopolitical climate that we're in, with variety of views and goals and PowerPoints nationally and globally, as well as those at the head of real estate, digital tech, emerging assets, philanthropy. Really wanted to create a space where we bring incredible current leaders together who have been carrying on multi-generational family offices or who are first generation wealth creators with emerging leaders and including those who are in their entrepreneurial years but are accumulating significant wealth, going through exits, or wealth accumulators who are figuring out how to navigate this, how to continue to accumulate wealth, and then what to do with it when your ability to earn passive income through your investments and through disciplined, focused effort of taking your earned income, making sure that that is, other than living within your minimal means, being able to spend that and earn passive income and ultimately only live off of passive income and continue to put your earned income into additional new investments that are building your wealth, that are allowing you to create meaningful security and success for yourself and then for your future generations. That also creates a new set of challenges in learning and road mapping. So we want to make sure that we offer a community that meets people where they are, helps with continued growth, and then helps with legacy planning and with that transition to future leaders. So within Kajora, we do have multiple communities. We have our single family office, multifamily office community, and that is leveled by, for the sake of ease and for community understanding, by assets under management. So we have our 100 million and up group, our billion and up group, and our 10 billion and up group within the community. And we also have our wealth accumulators, who generally speaking are going to be your 20 to 100 million. Those are not hard and fast numbers. We really look at, especially within our wealth community, accumulator community, those who are on the rise and who are building wealth and who are driven to exercise the best practices and learn and implement the tools needed to continue to build that wealth and who have their goal in mind of hitting that family office status. And when we talk about family office, whether that is formally structured as a single family office, an SFO, or a multifamily office, an MFO, it may be a family council, it may be any number of other equivalent structures, but we're really looking at what is the family needing at that point based on complexity of the family, the size of the assets under management, the how the wealth was created and what businesses, if any, the family may be in at that point. So there are a number of things that come into play in terms of deciding a right fit within the community. But as a general statement, we have our established family office community, our wealth creator community, and then in our other two groups, we do have a fund leader community, which often has a lot of overlap with our family offices, and our entrepreneur community. We have so many of our, especially our incoming leaders who are leaders of companies as well, have decided to start any number of entrepreneurial efforts, whether that's whatever sector they're in, real estate, digital tech, emerging assets, um, and who then regardless of what steps they've taken in terms of getting in that role, we know that the playing field gets very leveled when you need to lead a business and you're dealing with sales and marketing and HR and cybersecurity and all the other demands that go in, but also just what leadership takes in a competitive environment. Nobody's giving you a pass simply because you're a family office leader. You're still out there taking the hits and taking the risks and everything else that another business owner is taking. So one of the reasons that I think this is so important is that there can be this perception that you're leading a family office and that just magically makes things easy. In some ways, it actually can increase the pressure. You're trying to preserve legacy while creating your own identity and also carrying things forward. And you're charged with hopefully not being that second or third generation that statistically doesn't succeed in carrying the family wealth forward. So you have a brand to maintain while again forming your own and being able to move forward. And there's also oftentimes additional pressure because you carry a name that is recognized and because you are expected to automatically be able to step in and lead. But when you have a deal go wrong or you make a mistake that is in the spotlight more than maybe some need to bear, then having a support system, also in a place where we see a lot of fraud and scamming and other things that you need to be able to navigate. And in walking in any room where there's the perception that you are able to invest and able to help fund somebody else's goals and aspirations, how do you actually balance having the privacy you need to be able to live a peaceful life, but also enough freedom and public interaction to be really understanding what's happening in the world and able to be a participant and able to, if it's your goal, make an impact, but in an informed way. So as far as those communities we have, that actually also layers into our Kajora councils. So we have our peer councils, which range from real estate, digital assets, emerging tech, entertainment and media. We have our next gen leaders. We have a women in capital community. We have a number of interest related communities that as members, our Kajora individuals and companies are encouraged to select those areas most relevant to you and of interest. And you can have multiple interests that you're involved in. And with those, we have events and chat groups and niche communities or sub-communities that we support and that we want to provide resources for. So that takes us into Kajora as a whole and the community structure and the way we connect overall, but also then peers within these interest groups in an online setting and also through our mobile app, so that people can stay in touch. A lot of, we're going to talk about events in a second, but I share that information first because we're often asked if we're an event company. And so we are a community that occasionally holds events or holds events throughout the year. But my goal is that we really are a community that thrives all the time and in between the events. And we actually collaborate with a number of other family office and wealth accumulator event groups. And for me, a lot of the way this originated, there were two ways really. The first is that growing up, I was in an environment where families often spent time together for several days at a clip throughout the weekend, throughout the year. And that afforded a really relaxed time and opportunity to get to know each other. You had a lot of downtime while waiting for a few minutes that a family member was participating in a sporting event. And then you got to know people and you got to build trust and depth and explore opportunities together. And it was outside of a day-to-day business setting. So everybody kind of had their work faces off and the heavy competition mode and ego set aside enough to be able to, again, in a very authentic way, build relationships and create opportunities. And so that was a really phenomenal way. And I didn't know to appreciate it really until later, but to experience and ease into a family office community and mature. The second thing is that as we evolve, we realize that in working with a variety of families, having that similar type of downtime and relaxed setting gives us the chance to not have to pretend that everything is great all the time, to celebrate great success stories and figure out how to support each other, but to also be in an environment where we can come together, get to know each other, spend time, and really develop their relationships. And so we have events for sure. We have a number of summit events throughout the year that we'll consider our 150, 200 people and phenomenal speakers, great locations. We love our summit events. And we also have a number of private events where we bring people together for curated conversations in private settings and for the opportunity to get to know each other. But my goal is that it's the text strings and the app chats and the other things that happen in between the formalized events. We've seen over the months since we launched Kajora that and Kajora is a reboot of a community I had years ago that got set aside for a while in for some other life chapters, but that due to a number of asks for a space like this, we brought back to the front burner and have organically continued to grow, and so excited about the community that's come together. So thank you for those who have already been on board and contributing and participating. So we are a community first that holds events. And that's something I'm so proud of as we see people truly achieving that vision and raising all ships and finding ways to participate together. We are not a deal making community. I realize we have a lot of deal makers in our membership community. If we discuss things that are happening, trends, types of deals, how deals get made, what people are investing in, we do have informational presentations, and then everybody goes about their business and does what they're doing outside in their daily lives. We don't give financial advice. We're not attorneys. We are not giving professional advice within Kajora. We are encouraging everyone to learn, to take what is of value, and then take that information to your own professional team and get the advice from people who are familiar with your situation. So that also makes the attorneys happy that we just had that whole chat. So with that, then we have a number of different types of members within Kajora. We have our individual members who are participating. That includes a whole family. So if you join Kajora as an individual member, your immediate family members are members with you as well. We want ideally at events and in our conversations and even in our Kajora Academy, which we'll talk about, we want the whole family involved. That's very much a part of our goal. And then we do have our corporate participation, which is a very limited and by approval gathering of individuals and companies what we think are top at their game and who provide value for our family members. We allow for a corporate membership, 3 individuals from a given company to participate. And whether it's in accounting or legal or insurance or cyber or whatever that may be, and there's luxury companies, there's hospitality, it runs the gamut. But where there is a demonstrated history of being a class act and a contributor and a top thought leader, and going back to our conversation about our councils, we have a thriving RIA council as well as a hedge fund council. And so bringing together that professional community, one of the things I found when I had my professional hat on is that it was very difficult to have a door open to being in the family office community. And while I understood that, it was a shame because I was among the people who certainly through our own family experiences, but as a result of being a professional, was seeing the opportunities and also the challenges and disasters that our clients and that our contacts were going through. And you just get such a view of what's happening across a broader sample in the world and so much more that you're able to share, that I think it's really important. The right professionals and the right contributors have so much that they add to the environment. And I want to make sure, again, that we find great citizens in our community, but that we bring that sharing as well. So we do have the corporate membership. And along the same vein, we have the annual sponsorships. So we really don't do per event walk-ins as far as sponsors. We may have a very occasional situation where that happens, but overall, we're looking for annual participants in the community who are thought leaders first, who are committed to sharing resources, sharing education, sharing value with our community, and that they come, highly recommended. Certainly anything can happen in the world, but we really have been so fortunate and so excited about the path forward and about the community we have coming together through all of these different talents and life structures and experiences and contributions. So in terms of our live events, I mentioned that we do hold our summit events throughout the year. We hold, generally speaking, 3 to 4 summit events. We have 2 coming up. The first is October 15th and 16th. It'll be our Private Capital and Innovation Summit in Greenwich, Connecticut. And that will have about 150 so individuals, families, innovators, leaders across sectors with us. And we look forward to really walking through the playbook. One of the things I think is so important is that for family leaders, the world is happening so fast that if your incoming leaders are immersed in tech, in emerging tech, AI, digital assets, on top of the changes in liquidity and the way the capital stack is working for real estate, and how all of that is driving investment changes across philanthropy and across just opportunities, education. Everything is happening so quickly that the playbook that as family leaders we have is outdated almost as quickly as we have the experiences. So passing on from the playbook you used, it's very difficult to stay relevant for very long for your next gens. And so what we want to make sure we're doing is continuing to bring people who are in the trenches right now into the room to provide education and provide support and provide mentorship for family leaders as much as the emerging and new leaders and future leaders. And I say that because that playbook needs to keep evolving in order for us, as we transition and as we transfer and as we mentor, to be able to guide, protect, and then support on an ongoing basis and in the future. So we're very active and involved in having those live events for that reason. And again, we have several of those summit events because I think that raising all ships and continuing to spread the word about the community and invite people in for their thought leadership is critically important, and also a lot of fun. We can bring in more entertainment then and do some really cool things and have some special guests, and so that's nice. And then we also look at our more insulated. We're kicking off our fall road tour right now, which will take us to 10 to 12 different cities and bring small groups of our families together, either in a private home or at a sporting or entertainment event, depending on where we are and the timing. And we also do a number of events that are collaborative with other family office communities. And so we really look forward to those as well, and to raising all ships. I know there are family office communities that prefer to stay very gated and stay very closed. And there's certainly a number of good reasons and opportunities and reason times to do that. And so we subscribe to that as well. But overall, for families who do want to travel across communities, there is such great collaboration and such great opportunities and doors that open, that we really do focus on building those relationships and at least extending the invitations for our members to cross-pollinate across other groups. And very generously, a lot of other family office groups have done the same. And we've found that it's just really created a fantastic extended family environment and such a great support system. So we want to continue to move that forward. And that kind of extends into the next 2 things I'll talk about. The first is our Kajora Academy, which goes very much to what I've been speaking about all along, that we want to bring curriculum to the table with current trends and updates and education across the communities I've mentioned. So, our family offices, our wealth accumulators, our fund leaders, and our entrepreneurs. And in addition, we want to include members and ambassadors who can talk about the real world, about how this happens, the good, the bad, the ugly, the challenges, the tips, and share in a very transparent way, and help individuals navigate as they hit those roadblocks and as they navigate opportunities and negotiations. Um, and again, we don't deal make within the community, but just the conceptual conversations about how do you do this? How do you make sure that you're from a SWOT perspective, getting the most out of life and out of the opportunities in front of you, and then have a hand at your back to be able to walk you through and remind you that we all go through these learning moments and these, those hindsight experiences, and that continue to build us and to keep moving ahead. That belief that if you are someone who's paving paths that other people get to walk on, that's going to come with some challenges, and you're going to take some hits. And yet, again, everyone who follows benefits from that continued innovation and that continued resilience. And so we want to be able to support that as well. And then from our Kajora Club, we actually have a lot of great supporters across entertainment, hospitality, sports, things that naturally bring each other together, or bring everyone together for fun and for conversation and for quality time in relaxed settings. And so our club really is that casual family style opportunity for people to get together, no agenda, and just get to know each other, build relationships. Oftentimes, our we have certain contests we'll do, or we have certain types of themes we'll follow for periods of time. But that really is where we set aside that club environment, just to have fun and to continue to support each other and continue to organically expand the community. So with that, I'm thrilled, anytime that you're able to visit kajoraglobal.com. We want to keep you updated on the website. And then we also have, if you've subscribed to our newsletter, we have a separate app that provides information about either our public events. If you're a subscriber, but maybe not a member today, we'd love to have you. But otherwise, if you are a member, then you see, in addition to the public events, our private events and our Fall Road Tour, and everything else that's available to you. So if you have questions, if you're interested in more information, really excited to share, would love to welcome you to the community. Hope to see you at our upcoming events, and just so grateful to be a part of this experience and to have the chance to get to know you. Thank you so much, and hope to spend time